Ridge Forrester declares nuclear war on Bill Spencer, while Taylor Hayes uncovers Sheila's most terrifying psychological trap yet. The explosive confrontation begins the moment Ridge Forrester's expensive leather shoes hit the pristine floors of Spencer Publications. The dressmaker does not bother with pleasantries, nor does he wait for an invitation from the receptionist. He moves with the unstoppable force of a hurricane, driven by a blinding, righteous fury that has been simmering for weeks. When he reaches the executive suite, he kicks the heavy oak doors open with such violence that they slam against the walls, echoing like a gunshot through the silent corridor. Inside, Bill Spencer is seated on his modern, custom-designed throne, the sprawling Los Angeles skyline serving as the perfect backdrop for his massive ego. Ridge marches directly to the desk, slamming his fists down on the polished surface. The corporate war has officially breached the perimeter, and Ridge is here to declare total, uncompromising devastation upon the Spencer empire. The air in the room crackles with decades of unresolved hatred, jealousy, and bitter rivalry. Ridge's voice is a lethal, vibrating growl as he unleashes his first wave of accusations. He glares at Bill with a hatred so pure it could melt steel, accusing the Spencer patriarch of utilizing the most despicable, underhanded, and dirty tactics imaginable to poach Hope Logan from Forrester Creations. To Ridge, this is not a simple breach of contract or a standard corporate defection. This is a targeted assassination of the Forrester legacy. He accuses Bill of preying on Hope's vulnerabilities, manipulating her family ties, and weaponizing her against the very company that built her name. Ridge paints Bill as a corporate vulture, circling the Forrester family and picking off their weakest links. Every word Ridge spits out is laced with venom, holding Bill entirely responsible for the catastrophic fracture that is currently tearing the Logan and Forrester families apart at the seams. But the corporate espionage is only the tip of the iceberg. The true source of Ridge's volcanic rage stems from the blood spilled between their children. Ridge leans closer, his eyes flashing with a terrifying, protective fatherly instinct, as he brings up the brutal physical assault on his son, R.J. Forrester. He fiercely condemns Bill for not only excusing Will Spencer's violent, thuggish behavior but actively enabling it. Ridge accuses Bill of breeding a culture of toxicity and violence within the Spencer bloodline, turning Will into a ruthless attacker just to score a petty point against the Forresters. Ridge demands justice, his voice echoing off the glass walls as he brands Will a violent menace who needs to be locked away. The hypocrisy of Ridge's outrage is completely lost on him. He is blinded by a father's wrath, determined to make the Spencers pay in blood for every bruise left on RJ's body. If Ridge expects his explosive tirade to intimidate his rival, he is sorely mistaken. Dollar Bill Spencer does not flinch. He does not raise his voice. He does not even stand up. Instead, Bill leans back in his luxurious leather chair, casually swirling the amber liquid in his crystal glass, and offers Ridge a chilling, infuriating, and utterly condescending smirk. Bill thrives in this exact environment. He feeds on Ridge's desperation and anger. With a calm, calculated demeanor that is infinitely more threatening than Ridge's screaming, Bill smugly welcomes the hostility. He looks Ridge dead in the eye and delivers a crushing, humiliating reality check. The era of Forrester dominance is over. House of Logan is the new royalty of the Los Angeles fashion world, and Bill is the kingmaker who orchestrated the entire coup. He gloats about the runaway success of Hope's new line, relishing the look of absolute defeat on Ridge's face. The tension in the executive suite skyrockets to a nuclear level as Bill launches a brutal, surgical counteroffensive. Ridge wants to stand on his soapbox and preach about morality and violence? Bill laughs a dark, booming laugh that chills the blood. He ruthlessly targets Ridge's most vulnerable blind spot, Brooke Logan. Bill weaponizes Brooke's recent unhinged, violent outbursts to completely obliterate Ridge's moral high ground. He graphically reminds Ridge of the moment Brooke lost her mind, violently slapping Katie Logan across the face and physically destroying expensive Logan property in a fit of hysterical, uncontrollable rage. Bill asks Ridge how he dare call Will a violent thug when his own wife is assaulting women and destroying offices like a common criminal. The verbal blow lands with devastating precision, stripping away Ridge's self-righteous armor and exposing the glaring hypocrisy of the Forrester crusade. Backed into a corner and stripped of his moral superiority, Ridge transforms into a deeply wounded and incredibly dangerous animal. He refuses to back down, retreat, or reconsider. Instead, he doubles down with a terrifying intensity. Ridge looks at Bill with dead, hollow eyes and makes a solemn blood oath right there in the Spencer office. He vows to completely and utterly annihilate Bill's empire, no matter the cost, no matter the consequences. Ridge declares that he does not care how much collateral damage is inflicted along the way. He does not care if the crossfire tears their respective families to shreds, ruins careers, or destroys relationships. He will systematically dismantle Spencer Publications, bankrupt House of Logan, and wipe Bill's legacy off the map until there is nothing left but smoking ash. The feud has officially crossed the point of no return. This explosive confrontation pushes the decades-long animosity between the two most powerful men in Los Angeles to a catastrophic, unprecedented extreme. The stakes have never been higher, and the danger has never been more real. Both massive corporate conglomerates are now standing on the very edge of a precipice, facing total, unmitigated collapse due to the sheer magnitude of these personal, vindictive vendettas. The war is officially on, and there will be absolutely no prisoners taken. Every single employee, every family member, every lover, and every friend is about to be drafted into this apocalyptic battle for supremacy. The fashion world is about to become a war zone, and the fallout will inevitably leave both the Forrester and Spencer families permanently scarred. While the corporate titans prepare for a financial bloodbath downtown, a far more sinister, silent, and deeply psychological war is brewing in the shadows of the beautiful Cliff House. Taylor Hayes is experiencing a chilling, horrifying psychological awakening that is shaking her to her very core. For days, the world-renowned psychiatrist has been desperately trying to make sense of Sheila's bizarrely calm, almost peaceful reaction to the explosive exposure of her affair with Deacon Sharp. Taylor has been waiting for the other shoe to drop. She expected screaming, she expected violence, she expected a gun to be drawn. Why didn't Sheila attack? Why didn't she completely lose her mind? Why did she simply sign the divorce papers with a tragic, tearful expression and quietly walk away? Suddenly, the horrifying truth hits Taylor with the devastating force of a freight train. The sudden realization makes her blood run cold, and a physical wave of nausea washes over her. This is not a reformed woman. This is not a miraculous tale of redemption and positive change. This is the most brilliant, diabolical, and terrifying psychological trap Sheila has ever set in her entire miserable life. Taylor realizes, with a sickening sense of dread, that the old Sheila, the one who relied on bullets, knives, and physical violence, was easy to understand. She was predictable. This new version of Sheila is a master manipulator playing a terrifying, invisible long game, and Taylor has walked right into the center of her venomous web. Taylor's heart pounds violently against her ribs as she pieces the intricate, twisted puzzle together. Sheila signing those divorce papers and acting like the submissive, heartbroken, betrayed victim was never about accepting defeat or moving on. It was a highly calculated, Oscar-worthy theatrical performance designed specifically for one crucial audience member, John Finnegan. By playing the wounded martyr, Sheila is actively weaponizing compassion. She is using Taylor and Deacon's betrayal to paint herself as the ultimate, innocent victim of a cruel world. Sheila knows that if she attacks, Finn will protect his family and push her away forever. But if she plays the broken, betrayed wife, Finn's natural empathy will draw him in. Sheila is systematically isolating Taylor, making her look like the villain, all while quietly stealing Finn's sympathy and trust. Absolute panic sets in as Taylor frantically rushes to find her daughter and deliver the terrifying warning. She corners Steffi in the living room, her hands trembling, her voice shaking as she details the sheer gravity of Sheila's invisible, psychological warfare. Taylor explains that Sheila is currently more dangerous than she has ever been in her entire history of terrorizing their family. A villain with a gun can be tackled, disarmed, and arrested by the police. But a villain armed with fake tears, a fabricated victim complex, and infinite patience can destroy a family from the inside out without ever breaking a single law. Taylor confesses that she is living in absolute, paralyzing terror, realizing that Sheila's ultimate endgame is the total psychological domination and possession of Finn. Steffi Forrester Finnegan listens to her mother's frantic, terrified warnings, and her reaction is immediate, visceral, and explosive. Steffi does not succumb to the paralyzing fear that is gripping her mother. Instead, she transforms the dread into pure, unadulterated, blinding rage. The fierce matriarch of the Cliff House refuses to let her family fall victim to another one of Sheila's twisted, sick mind games. Steffi's eyes flash with a lethal, uncompromising determination as she makes a solemn, unbreakable vow to her terrified mother. She will not sit back and wait for Sheila to make the next move. She is not going to play defense. She is going on the offensive, and she is going to strike hard. Steffi realizes with terrifying clarity that the clock is ticking against them. Every single second that Sheila spends playing the tragic victim is another second that Finn's mind is being poisoned by her manipulative, toxic venom. Steffi swears to rip the innocent mask right off Sheila's face and expose her true, sinister, calculating intentions to the world before Finn is completely and irreversibly manipulated into her trap. The battle lines are officially drawn in the sand. Steffi is preparing to wage a ruthless psychological war of her own, determined to protect her husband, her children, and her mother from the monster lurking in the shadows, no matter how dirty she has to play to win. Sheila has officially traded her physical weapons for patience, fake compassion, and psychological torture, proving once and for all that the human mind is the most dangerous battlefield of all. She sits in the dark, waiting, watching, and meticulously weaving her intricate web of deceit. She knows that Steffi is coming for her, and she welcomes the challenge with a twisted, sinister smile. The ultimate, high-stakes showdown between the fierce Forrester women and their greatest, most enduring nightmare is rapidly approaching. And this time, the casualties will not be physical wounds that can be stitched up in a hospital, they will be emotional, psychological, and permanent scars that will alter the destiny of the Forrester family forever. Will Ridge destroy Forrester in his blind rage against Bill? And can Steffi expose Sheila before Finn is lost forever? Drop your theories below and subscribe for more.